Oh, shit. Here we go again. Worst place in the world.
Part 4, baby. Y'all know the deal. I take 4 specials that have been hated on by the internet. I put that bias to the side and I try to judge them for myself. The first special on the lineup was recommended by David Ramirez, 1219, and it's Ali Wong's 2024 special, Single Lady. I've never watched any of her stand-up prior to this, but I was a fan of Beef. That series was amazing, so this should be an interesting watch. As expected, by the title of the special, the opening is all about her divorce she had and her new life as a single lady. There isn't any rug pulls happening here during these jokes. I guess the punchline is supposed to be a divorced mom getting dicked down.
What you listening to, son?
I don't think you like it.
Well, why not? I like this new generation of music.
A divorced mom just wants to get digged down.
Mother of God, it's all toilet sounds.
The first joke using any type of recognizable format is when she mentions paying 12 months in advance on a dating app.
Because then you save $5 a month. I might be rich, but I'm still Chinese.
I get it.
You gotta work with me on this.
It don't make me laugh, but I get it.
We get some more examples of I'm so cheap, this is rough. They all miss by a lot. Owen Hart had a better landing at Over the Edge. Later, she's describing breaking up with the movie director she dated, and he says, "You'll never find anyone like me." And her response is, "Yeah, that's what I'm hoping." It does get a little chuckle out of me, but I feel like anyone who's ever been told that has the exact same reply. A little later, she does have a joke that I like a lot more, and it's because it has a very Patrice O'Neal tone to it.
Call me up and they're like, Allie, I am having the worst fucking day. I'm like, well then hang up the fucking phone.
Oh, this is gonna suck. I know it. It's not gonna be good. Because it's never good. You wanna hear what happened to me today? You'd be like, oh, not really.
After that though, nothing really moved me or made me laugh. Watching this right after going through a bunch of Joan Rivers material also didn't help, since quite a few of the jokes touched up on the same subjects. They have similar endings, but Joan actually has a well-written joke without having to take such a winded detour. For example, Allie talks about taking jewelry as a gift and not giving it back. She uses it as a callback at the end of her breakup story with the director, but it was just, "and thanks for the necklace." Whereas Joan in a one-liner will say,
"And when you do break up, God forbid, you keep the jewelry, you swallow the stone, you give nothing back. No man will look through shit for a diamond. Believe me."
Essentially the same premise, but a faster and better punchline, and that's what makes Joan's version land. Which brings me to the closing joke of this special. It wasn't even a joke. She just mentions that she's dating the guy she talked about earlier in the special that gave her some flowers. It's insane to me that she would end the special this way when that's where your hardest hitting joke is supposed to be. Instead, we get left with this sort of cliffhanger. Honestly, I can see why David Ramirez is so critical of this and recommended the special. Now, there is one part that piqued my curiosity during this hour, and it was a joke that she made about her comedian friends bringing their insta-ho girlfriends around them, and the other women have to babysit these young broads.
They sink their pussy teeth into my friend's bald-ass head until he can't think for himself anymore because they know he has a potential to go far with his podcast and not sign a prenup.
And I couldn't help but think she was talking about Bobby Lee. No one is ever named, so who knows, but it really does sound like that's who she's talking about. Anyways, she leaves a lot to be desired, and the special falls short of expectations, so let's just go ahead and move on to the next special. Up next, this special was one that I came across randomly Googling the worst rated comedy specials. It's Farrah Abraham's 2025 comedy debut, Diary of a Teen Mom. As the opening act, we have Tracy Carnazzo. I'm unfamiliar with her work, but it appears that she's a crowd work comedian, but it's not looking good. There are a few things that are working against her in this setting. The first being that the venue looks like it's maybe 30 or 40 people, so the pool of people that are going to participate is already very limited. Second, the crowd is obviously not mic'd up because anytime they do respond, we don't hear shit.
This is amazing. What do you do for work? Yeah, that's the problem. You can't do anything anymore.
Lastly, the crowd does not seem like they are a comedy crowd. It's basically friends and associates of Farrah just supporting her newest cash grab. At first, I did feel bad for Carnazzo as the crowd wasn't giving her anything to work with.
Clap if you fucked an unfuckable. Clap if you've done that. Okay.
But after 10 minutes of insisting, my sympathy was non-existent. It is obvious she has nothing else in her arsenal because she would not steer away from the crowd work. No matter how much the crowd refused, she kept pushing and pushing and pushing, begging that they play along.
Do we have any of these guys here? Clap if you're an old-fashioned kind of guy. Yeah, you might not know what I mean by that. I'll explain it. He's the kind of guy who would like pull my chair out for me. Do we have these guys here? Clap if you are. Yeah. He's the kind of guy who would like open my car door for me. Keep clapping. Yeah. He would pay for dinner, right? He would hit me. Like he so old-fashioned. You know what I mean. You were clapping.
When she finishes up, she tries to get the crowd hyped up to bring Farrah on the stage, and I swear to God, I thought they had added a voice in post or something, but no. These scumbags literally start playing an AI voice to do a second introduction.
Put your hands together for our favorite, Farrah Abraham.
Please welcome to the stage icon, legend OG, superstar, the greatest of all-time teen mom, Farrah Abraham, your new favorite comedian.
And I'm confused as hell at this point, but at the same time, this is a slap in the face to her opener. Why have her present you if you had that planned already? This special is beyond bonkers. Farrah gets on stage, and I'm honestly impressed at how quick she proves that there are decisions worse than getting pregnant in high school. Her set has no setups, punchlines, metaphors, puns, crowd work, act outs, silly faces, or even a single fucking fart noise.
I feel like I would just want to be one of those comedians that like unsexualizes herself. I know I showed you sex toys, my naked calendar. I'm really just, that's self-love though. It's not like I'm trying to sexualize myself. I don't know.
Several times throughout the 30 minutes that she's on stage holding the microphone, she calls herself a comedian.
Accusations! These are not accusations. This is false accusations. And
we have to listen to her incoherent ramblings with non-existent transitions. I tried using subtitles hoping it would help me understand something.
Through like ketamine psychedelic treatments that maybe I was in like a psychedelic parenting simulation. And like once you kind of get out of simulations, like when I break up with boyfriends, I feel like it was a simulation I was in.
But I might as well have thrown alphabet soup on the floor and read through that instead. I mean, honestly, Michael Richard calling hecklers the N-word had a smoother set than this. After watching this, I honestly think we owe every comic that has been giving the title of the worst comedian or having the worst special a damn apology. As unfunny as they may have been, they still carry at least a molecule of what comedy comes from. This special serves as nothing more than a product of being a pseudo-celebrity almost 20 years ago and refusing to just let it go. But let's move on already before I pop a blood vessel. The following special was recommended by Justin Coasters, and it's Whitney Cummings' 2023 special, Mouthy. Normally, I try to watch all the specials in the same night, but I felt like something was off when I started this one. I was watching it, and I was laughing at everything.
Oh no, this can't be.
In my heart of hearts, I knew that it wasn't that funny. The Farrah special was so bad that it was giving an unfair advantage to everyone else. My sense of humor was so depleted, I was starving for anything it could get. I had to stop the special, cleanse my palate for a few days, and like the teen dads on that show, I wanted nothing more than to forget I ever crossed paths with the teen mom.
No, you're a bitch. End of story. Bottom line. That's why all your relationships, until you wake up, get some counseling, get some help, all of them are gonna be
That's why
dead.
all
Can I
of...
get my ring back?
It was a gift.
I don't want to be with you, Janelle. You are a sociopath.
Okay.
After a quick reset, here's the honest review. Let me start by saying thank you, Lord, she decided to use her inside voice for once. With these specials, I'll take any win that I can get. She starts off with some crowd work about quitting weed. The first attempt really ain't it, but there's this lady who starts rambling on, and that alone to me is funny. It's pretty hilarious whenever somebody can't read the room.
You just quit weed.
I had COVID and I was smoking, and then I was having heart rate issues. Went to the doctor, they could find nothing wrong with me. They told me I just had anxiety. And then I quick go to the doctor, and that was it. It turned
Totally. Is this what it's like to be a man dating a woman?
She wastes no time bringing up cancel culture.
I know it's not gonna be good, because it's never good.
You're grown. The concept is dead. Just stop it.
Stop it. Get some help.
Besides, hearing about being canceled from millionaire comedians is like the Hollywood elite singing Imagine during the pandemic when people couldn't even afford groceries. To her credit, the joke about identifying as a hockey goalie was funny.
When you grow up poor, you're whatever gender your older sibling was. I wore a hockey jersey to school till I was like 12, okay? I identified as a goalie.
Wanting to shut people up that were super invested in high school girls sports also made me laugh, but she starts walking this real thin line, mentioning trans people quite a bit, and it feels like she might start doing a rant. I'll be honest, I almost checked out, but she came back and actually had some punches along the way. The first one being when she asked both sides why she should align with them.
I'll go to my friends that are suspicious of trans people. I'll be like, hey, can you please educate me? Why should I be on your side? What's the problem with trans people? They'll be like, well, they're fast. And then I go to my trans friends and I'll be like, educate me. Why should I be on your side? They're like, we get murdered disproportionately in the streets. So you guys, are they fast or not?
Another is when she's at a party and one of the trans women in her group is calling everyone transphobic for not wanting to talk to her.
Like, bitch, maybe it's you. Maybe it has nothing to do with the fact that you're trans. This is a party in Los Angeles. I happen to know that every man in this room is closeted gay.
In the next section, she talks about Rogan fan crypto bros, and it feels soft compared to the last section. It's really run-of-the-mill jokes with no depth or hard punches. Maybe she didn't want to go too hard and jeopardize that Rogan friendship, but all these were pretty basic jokes. She ends her special joking about how companies need to hire an old woman named Rita for HR.
Rita's not causing problems. She solves your problems. When your wife calls, she's like, hey, your wife just called. Do you want me to tell her you're in a business meeting again? She'll believe it. She's such a retard. I got this.
All in all, this special wasn't that bad. There were times when I was sitting there just watching my screen, but there were also times I genuinely laughed and liked the jokes. Compared to her last special that I actually watched, Can I Touch It?, this is levels above that. Honestly, I don't remember laughing once during that special. And as our mission inches closer to the end, I'm actually rooting for the fourth special. I'm hoping the ratings are a product of Hate Watch partnered with groupthink and not due to bombing on stage. The final special I'm going to watch is one that has been scrubbed from the internet, or so they think, and it's Tony Hinchcliffe's 2016 Netflix special, One Shot. Off the bat, I am rolling on the floor as Joey Diaz brings him up and Tony just stands there with his arm up looking like Corey and Trevor from Trailer Park Boys waiting to get dapped up. The opening joke is about 30-year-olds and not being mature yet, with the punchline somehow being about a chipper guy in AutoZone with an eye patch.
I get there and he's just, hey, how are you? Welcome to AutoZone. How can I help you? It's like, whoa, 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 settle down, right? This guy had too high confidence.
Alright, I guess. Funny enough, when I watched Rogan's special in the last video, he also has a joke about 30-year-olds that aren't actually mature yet.
And then one day I hit 32 and I was like, fuck, I'm the same dude. This fucking grow up shit kick in. Fucking lie, nobody grows up. You just get tired from work. That's all that happens.
Neither of these really made me laugh, but Rogan's delivery was stronger and he reached the punchline without having to drag his feet. I wish I was kidding right now, but the joke that follows is about serial killers being caught for digging shallow graves. You know, the one that people accuse him of stealing from Norm Macdonald.
Take her body to the woods and bury her in a very, very, very deep grave.
You know what I never see on those crime shows? The body was discovered after being buried 75 feet deep in the ground.
Personally, I don't think he stole the joke, mainly because everybody watches true crime and missing people cases, so it's not impossible for two people to end up at the same finish line. Where it becomes hard to defend are the points setting up the premise. Both start off with serial killers get lazy when it's time to dispose of the body.
Yeah, because I know where everybody that gets caught always fucks up. Yeah, they always get a little lazy around burial time.
Then when it comes time for the grave, they get a little hasty, you know?
They always leave a hand sticking out of the dirt or some lazy shit like that.
They're like, there you go, 3 twigs and a leaf. That ought to do it. That doesn't look like Janice anymore.
And they both have the same buildup. I know how to get away with it.
Anyway, I've watched enough of them to where I know how to get away with murder now.
You know, what I would do, and I would never, ever kill a lady in cold blood. I wouldn't. I know I say that now. I don't really know. I can't predict the future, but I don't believe I...
But the real reason I don't want to say that he stole the joke is because Tony's version stinks. I don't want it anywhere near Norm. Hasn't he suffered enough? And the absolute irony for him to mention Carlos Mencia as every comic's worst nightmare.
And who comes up to me after my set? Comedian's worst nightmare to find out that they were watching your entire set. No, not Carlos Mencia. Good guess.
With those 2 opening jokes, at least Mencia knew how to deliver his stolen material. I am beside myself at this point. This man has to be trolling. What follows next is a lifeless joke about The Price is Right.
And they lose hard. Sometimes the 2 people that make it to the showcase showdown both overbid. They both lose. That's what I call perfect.
Something that Daniel Tosh already did almost a decade ago, and his was actually funny.
You ever say the silent prayer when you see the old lady spinning the wheel, hoping once in your lifetime she gets caught underneath and it snaps her back right in half? And a pool of blood comes around and it lands on $1. Bob starts peeing himself. He can't hold it, not at that age. It's dangerous, so he's peeing, laughing. Get up, bitch, you have a bonus spin.
It is a rough start, and I'm barely 26 minutes in, and there's 30 more minutes to go. The rest of the special, I'm watching this not as a stand-up, but to find premises of jokes I've heard already. The same shit that ended up happening with Nick Cannon in the last video. The jokes I mentioned are the most obvious, but there are plenty more unoriginal, poorly executed jokes throughout the rest of the special. If Hinchcliffe took any one of these jokes and told them on Kill Tony, he better have the most amazing post-interview if he wants to get a small joke book. But regardless of it all, no matter how bad this special feels, it is still leagues above Teen Mom. As for the rankings of these specials, first is going to be Whitney Cummings. Even though there were plenty of misses, she still landed and landed more often than the other 3. Second place is Ali Wong. More often than not, the punchline was the lowest hanging fruit and the closer was disappointing to see, but she still got a couple of laughs out of me, something the last 2 did not. Third place is Tony Hinchcliffe. Despite rehashing topics other comics already touched on and failing to make it funny, and let's ignore the fact that he was laughing awkwardly whenever he thought the crowd should have been laughing. The basic structure of a joke was there, regardless if it landed or not. And obviously, fourth place is going to go to Tracy Carnazzo. Her crowd work didn't land for shit, and she either refused or doesn't know any other comedy techniques, but there are still remnants of comedy's DNA in her attempt, which I can at least respect. I rank comedians attempting to tell jokes, not reality stars and their failed attempts at relevance. I'm out.